Good morning, 1B. It's Miss Jess. It's so nice to see you all. Today is Friday, April 10th, 2020. And today what we're going to do is we're going to read this super cool book called Flashy Fantastic Rainforest Frogs. And I thought it looked really, really cool. But before we do that, there's a few words in this book that we might not know what they are. So we're going to do a little vocabulary. It might be review, but it might be new vocabulary. So the first word it's actually two words. It's rainforest. Now we know what rain is. That's when water comes from the sky. Now we know what a forest is. It's where there's a lot of trees. So what do you think a rainforest could be? Oh, if you guessed if it's a forest where it rains all the time, you are correct. So rainforests typically are in South America. Sometimes you can find them in Mexico, in Costa Rica, lots of places actually. All right, the next word is canopy. Can I hear you guys say that at home? Canopy. Ooh, very nice. So canopy is when we're talking about the forest, it's the very tops of the trees. Okay, so it's the tops of the trees where birds like to live, sometimes squirrels. All right, and then our last word is a long one. It's called understory. Can I hear you guys try it at home? Understory. Yeah, the understory is the part of the forest at the very, very bottom of the forest where little mice like to live or insects. They like to live at the very bottom in the understory. So if you hear any of these words in the book, if you hear rainforest, if you hear canopy, if you hear understory, I want you to go ahead and give me a nice thumbs up at home. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and read this book, shall we? So the author is Dorothy Patent. What does it mean to be an author? Oh, it's someone who wrote the book. Very nice. And it was illustrated by Kendall Jubb. And what does it mean to illustrate? Oh, it means they colored the pictures. And look at these cool pictures. Look at all these frogs. What do we think that frogs might look like in the rainforest? Do we think that they're kind of dull colors? No, they're probably very bright, huh? Let's find out. Flashy and fantastic. That's what rainforest frogs are. They aren't just green or brown like ordinary frogs. They can be blue or they can be orange. They can have red stripes, bright pink bellies. Some are smaller than your thumb. So friends, take a look at your thumb. There's some frogs that are smaller than your thumb. Wow, that's small. And others are as big as kittens. Whoa, can you imagine seeing a frog as big as a kitten? That'd be pretty cool. They look different from frogs near your home, but in many ways they're all the same. Like frogs, they have moist skin. So moist means it's kind of wet, but not really, really wet. They have big eyes and they have long legs. Wow, look at these cool pictures. This is all animals in the rainforest. The tropical rainforest, oh, did you hear a vocabulary word? Is a very special place. It never freezes. Instead of summer and winter, the rainforest has a wet season and a dry season. Even during the dry season, it rains. The rainforest looks like a tropical garden. Plants grow everywhere, even on top of other plants. Whoa. At the top of the rainforest is the canopy. Ooh, our vocabulary word. Below the canopy is the understory. Oh, another vocabulary word. So friends, remember the understory is right here at the bottom, and the canopy is the very top where the birds and like little monkeys like to live. Very cool. Many frogs live in the canopy and the understory. Wow, so the frogs like to live in the tops of the trees, in the canopy, and in the understory. They may never come down to ground. Their legs are long for climbing. Their toes have wide, sticky tips that help them cling to branches and leaves. Some frogs live their whole lives on the forest floor and never go into the water. They don't need to because the air is so wet. Wow, look at all these cool frogs, huh? Look how pretty they are. Most rainforest frogs eat insects. There are so many crickets, moths, termites, ants, and other insects in the forest that frogs have plenty to eat. But frogs go beyond eating insects. Some large frogs have green and brown bodies that blend perfectly well with the forest floor. These frogs don't hunt for food. They just sit and they wait, and they eat anything that comes their way. Ow, look at all these animals. They have a nice long tongue that helps them get ants and crickets. And all these bugs, they love to eat them. They're a delicious snack. The disguise of the frog also protects them from becoming food for large animals. Many small frogs protect themselves by hiding too. Some have brown patterns that make them look like dead leaves. Wow, so look at this picture. So a lot of these are frogs, but do they kind of look like leaves? Kind of, so they hide in. So animals that maybe want to eat one of the frogs says, oh, I can't tell if that's a leaf or a frog. I'll just keep walking. Glass frogs are hard to see on green leaves. Much of their skin has no color at all. Wow, so these are some frogs right here. Do you see them? They're trying to blend in with these leaves. Let's see how many we can count. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 glass frogs. Very cool. A few rainforest frogs have special ways to avoid predators. They have big feet with webbing between their toes. Some have flaps of skin on the side of their bodies. To escape, the frogs jump in the air and they spread their feet and they kind of fly out. Their flaps act like wings and slow the frog's fall as it glides gently down. Wow, so that's pretty cool. So this frog will jump in the air and spread its webbed toes and kind of fly away. Wow, look at all these animals. Very cool. Poison dart frogs don't need to hide or escape. They hop fearlessly about the forest floor during the day. Their bright colors warn predators. Does anyone remember what a predator means? Ooh. Yeah, a predator is a big animal that wants to eat some of these frogs. Only a few animals can eat them because their skin contains bitter-tasting chemicals, and some of these frogs are very poisonous. So that means that we can't eat them because it might make us sick. Native hunters in Colombia roll the tips of their blowgun darts onto the skin of certain frogs. The poison will last for about a year, and the hunters use it to kill game, but they must be very, very careful. So friends, I don't know if you remember, but Miss Jess lived in Colombia for 1 year. It was a really cool time. I didn't see any of these frogs, though. So these frogs right here are making loud sounds. I don't know if you guys have ever seen frogs do this, but they like to croak. They go ribbit, 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 and this is what they're doing. And over here, they're laying some eggs. All right. Tadpoles eat lots of food and grow fast. When a tadpole gets big enough, hind legs begin to grow. Then come the front legs, and the tadpole's tail starts to shrink. So friends, when a frog is just born, they live in the water as little tadpoles right over here. And then they turn into frogs. So with some time, they start to grow some legs, and then their little tail starts to get really, really small. And then they go on land. Some frogs in the forest don't have tadpoles at all. These frogs live among the dead leaves under the trees. Wow, so these frogs just live under dead leaves in the tree, and they don't ever turn into tadpoles. Some frogs that live high in the trees carry their eggs in their pouch on their back. So these frogs, when they lay eggs, they put them on their backs. That's pretty cool. All right, and then here are some of the poison dart frogs again. Now, how do we know that they're poison dart frogs? Oh, that's right, because of their bright colors that show predators. Hey, don't eat me, because I'm poisonous, and I can make you really sick. Here's some more over here. I'm going to skip these pages. All right. I'm going to skip these too. It looks like there's a scientist right here that's studying these frogs. That's pretty cool. All right. Frogs need the rainforest to live in, especially the poison dart frog, because they can't live anywhere else. Frogs have been on Earth for more than 150 million years. The end. Wow, so take a look at this picture. It looks like we have a tiger, we have a toucan, this is a type of bird, we have lots of frogs just hanging out. Pretty cool. All right, my friends, that was a pretty fun book. You can go ahead and give me some crab claps or some jazz hands if you liked that book. I hope that you had a good time, and I hope that you are having an awesome Friday. And I will see you soon. All right, bye, 1B.